La la la, hey, hey, yeah, yeah. Welcome back to Time Ottawa. A lot of people out there have heard that, sometimes the best way to make money is buying real estate.
That's right.
But is it true all the time? And where do you invest? And how do you actually execute those deals and plan to turn a profit at the end of it all? Well, that's why we have our next guest on the show today. She is the author of More Than Cashflow, The Real Risks and Rewards of Profitable Real Estate Investing. Her name is Julie Broad, and she joins us here today. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me.
Well, it's really fun to have someone like you on the show because this is a real hot topic. Everyone wants to get into a real estate game. Many times they don't know where to start. And so why did you want to write a book? Because there are so many resources out there right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of great real estate books on the market, but none of them cover the whole story. Okay. And you need to understand the things that can go wrong,
right,
as well as all the money you can make so that you can make the right decisions for yourself. Because a lot of people jump in and don't get the right property for the life they live, for the skills they have, and it turns into a big mess. But it doesn't have to go that way, but you need the whole story.
Yeah, exactly. And I think people are intimidated when it comes to investing in real estate. Who does this book target? Because I think there's probably a lot of people out there that say to themselves, I don't have the resources to invest in real estate, right?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not suggesting somebody who is on their last dime get into real estate, because I don't think it's the solution for somebody who is struggling paycheck to paycheck. I think it's the solution for people who are looking at their financial future. They have a job, but they're also looking, is my pension going to be there? How am I going to pay for my kids going to university?
Right.
A couple of rental properties bought well, but bought today and held for 10, 20 years can provide a lot of financial options.
Right. So when it comes to actually going in there, buying a home, I guess everyone's an investor, really, because if you're buying a house, you hope to get a return at the end of it when you sell it. What are some of the main tips that you have for anyone who's purchasing a home?
Yeah, absolutely. One thing a lot of people don't do is really, I call it boots to the ground. Right?
Okay.
They don't actually get out and walk that neighborhood more than once. Sometimes they don't even walk it. They drive it and they follow their realtor, who always takes you the best way.
That's right.
True.
True.
So get out there, walk it on your own, but walk it in the day and walk it at night, because things change at night, right? I lived in Vancouver. Daytime looked great. At night, a little bit scarier. So you want to walk it at both times. But walking around, just seeing what's going on in the neighborhood. Is there anything that you don't like? Sometimes there's smells coming from certain things.
True.
Stuff like that. You won't see it unless you spend a little bit of time walking around.
I guess that's even just as important if you're looking at making this a rental income investment. When it comes to that, I think most people don't want to necessarily be a landlord. They might not think they have the skills to be a landlord. When you're suggesting people tips and advice for people that are buying a property to rent, what are some of the things they should consider?
Yeah, absolutely. And it isn't for everyone. That's certainly not my argument. But I do think it's a great option for some people who want to try it. One of the things is to think about who you want your tenants to be first.
Right.
A lot of people just buy something that is said to be a good investment, but think about who you want as a tenant, then buy the property that they're going to want to live in. And then that will reduce a lot of the problems that come along with bad tenants. Because if you're thinking about that great tenant buying the place they want to live in, then you're much more likely to keep a great tenant or find one and keep them. Yeah.
Well, you also suggest that people, they actually have an exit plan, like an exit strategy. A lot of people don't think of the end. They just think of the now. This is what I want right now.
Especially when they're buying their own home, because you think about what your family needs. But you want to think about, is that something that future buyers are going to want? Right? You may have a unique situation. So your unique situation may not have a big pool of buyers or even renters if that's what you choose to do when you leave that home. Okay. So you want to think about, is this home going to fit who will be the likely person to buy or rent it in the future?
I think something that really ties into all of this is what every business owner says: location, location, location.
Yeah.
Very true of real estate as well. How do you find that perfect location?
We have an acronym called Properties with a Cause. So we say it needs to be convenient, access to transportation, shopping. It needs to attract families, because those tend to be the best quality areas. U is for under the average price for a city. Right? You don't want to be buying in that high-end market, in that high-end neighborhood, because that's going to have the most price resistance in the future.
Right.
S would be starter family home, because that's the most liquid, right? People move up and move down into that category. And E, economic fundamentals. People need jobs so they can pay their mortgages, pay their rents.
Yeah.
You don't want to have too many vacant apartments, too many houses on the market in that area. So that's kind of what we look for, in a condensed format in terms of location. Yeah.
If you become a landlord, you have a rental property, you're not handy, what suggestion do you have for the person that's in that position?
Oh, that's me. Hello.
Okay. So then you know firsthand.
Yeah, I mean, you want to learn how to hire great people.
Right.
That's the key. Because there's skills, every skill you don't have, there's someone out there that has that skill. Your key is to learn how to hire that person. And there's tons of ways to tackle that. So, but yeah, just find a great person.
So don't fool yourself either into thinking, I'll just learn all of this, as I go.
Yeah.
There's a danger in that,
do it yourself.
Not going to work for some of us.
And you say that the biggest mistake investors make is not really considering their lifestyle and the economic situation or the impact that having a piece of property will have on their life as well. Very important. Where can people find your book?
Oh, I'm going to be at Books on Beechwood today here in Ottawa at 4 to 6 p.m. But it's also online, many places, Amazon chapters, of course.
Great. Well, Julie, thank you so much for joining us today.
Great
Great conversation, great tips as well.